So I have a YouTube channel called Chap Chat. My name is Brian. What's yours?
I'm Jordan.
Jordan. Nice to meet you. All right. So your thoughts on the afterlife?
I guess I've never really thought about it too hard. I was raised Christian.
Right.
Don't really know how I feel nowadays.
Right.
As I grew up and started exploring different ideologies, I definitely believe that there is something out there after this. I can't really say whether or not it's heaven or not, but I definitely believe that there is something more than just this.
So some sort of higher power.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. So let's see. Not an atheist, not agnostic. So you believe in something out there. So do you believe in a creator?
Yeah, absolutely. I understand where the idea that this could happen from some kind of natural event, but at the same
The
time,
Big Bang.
yeah, the Big Bang. But at the same time, it seems like it's a little much for the perfect opportunity to happen. You know.
Right. Yeah, and that makes sense to me too. That actually is kind of what drove me to start investigating. Honestly. Okay, so you believe in a higher power. So you believe in an existence of God.
Yeah, to some degree, I don't think God would be quite this omnipotent being, but I definitely think that there's something there that did push the events to happen.
Gotcha. Okay, so if let's say there is a God like the omnipotent being that you're talking about, do you think he'd be happy with you or angry with you?
It's a hard question. I definitely live my life the way I was raised. Like I said before, I was raised Baptist Christian.
Okay.
For the first 15, 16 years of my life, that's
Right.
solely what I did.
Right.
So I still live my life that way. I still believe what's in the Bible. I just don't necessarily believe everything in the Bible.
Gotcha. Okay. So are you a good person, you think?
I try my best to be.
Gotcha. Okay. You mind taking a little test to see the good person test, I call it?
Sure.
Okay. And basically all we're doing is we're using the moral standards, the 10 Commandments, to
Okay.
kind of measure ourselves against that.
Okay.
So honestly, that's about the only thing I found that gives us a right and wrong.
Yeah.
So how many lies do you think you've told in your life?
Oh, man, too many to count.
Right? Yeah, so you're like the rest of us, okay? And how about, have you ever stolen anything, irrespective of value?
Probably as a kid.
Sure.
I can remember one specific time I stole a necklace from a TJ Maxx because my best friend at the time, she wanted it. And of course, got to do whatever you got to do.
Right. No, I know what you're talking about. All right, so what do you call somebody who lies?
A liar.
Okay, a liar. And what would that would make you a? It's tough to say. A liar, right?
Yeah, a liar.
Okay, same as me. All right, and then what do you call somebody who steals things?
A thief.
Okay, so so far, lying
So
thief,
far.
right? All right. How about taking God's name in vain?
I've tried my best not to. I'm sure I've slipped up here and there.
Okay, that's called blasphemy.
Yep.
So yeah, so your background, you would know that, right?
3 for 3.
3 for 3. Yeah, there you go. All right. How about this one? Jesus said, if you look at somebody with lust, you've committed adultery already in your heart. Have you ever done that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And then, well, thanks for being honest.
4 for 4.
4 for 4. Right.
Great.
Yeah. So if you're standing in front of God on Judgment Day, and He's using His moral standard, innocent or guilty,
By his moral standards, guilty.
heaven or hell,
I'd say hell.
does that concern you?
To some degree. But I think that even with following the Bible, I think there is some leniency to the 10 Commandments. Just from human nature.
Okay. Do you know? You probably get this one right. Do you know what God did to? And it was something pretty amazing. You know what God did to pay for those digressions against His commandments?
Yeah, of course. He gave his only begotten son.
There you go. All right. So, if that is the case, right? So He paid. Jesus paid his blood basically for us, for those. That's what you're calling the leniency, right? So
Yeah.
there. I don't. You said you've kind of looked around at other religions kind of since then, or since your younger days. So did you know by studying, say, Buddhism or Islam or any of those other religions, any other religion, period? Do you know that whatever their leader or the person who started it, they don't say they're the only way. So Jesus is the only one that ever claimed that.
Yeah.
So he is either right or crazy. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't think he's crazy.
Okay.
But I think that the morals might have been twisted over the years. Obviously, it's been a long time since this happened.
Right.
And having played word of mouth games, things get twisted every now and then.
So, I've walked through all of these things, the same thing you're saying here, because I grew up like you did, Christian Baptist in my younger days. And when I get to about 18, 19, I was like, I'm not sure about all that, So I kind of pushed back away from that to the point where I was agnostic. Mm-hmm. And so, but then I actually started studying for myself, like, all right, what my parents told me was one thing. I want to find out what the truth is, right? So I started studying it. So what God says about his word, and that's what my objection was, oh man, you know how many years it's been since Jesus said that, right? So God said that he would preserve his word. And he said not a crossing of the T or a dotting of the I will change until I return till the end of the world. So I'm thinking, okay, if I believe in a creator that created all of this, my eyes, I think it's like 134 million light-sensitive cells or something in an eye. It's crazy, just the eye. So if I believe in a creator who could do that, and I believe that he sent his son to pay for my sins that are years later, then is it possible that he would preserve his word till now? So, your thoughts?
I definitely think it's possible, even to go as far as to say plausible. Right. But again, there's so many different variations of the Bible. There's 13, 14 common ones.
Yeah, that's just the common ones. There's hundreds in the English language. It's just insane. And that's a confusing part as well. But I personally just stick with the one that's been around for about 400 years, they kind of go with the oldest. But so if you kind of talking through this conversation, so you say guilty, hell based on that judgment. Then you have to make a decision, right?
Absolutely.
So the decision would be, do I trust Christ? It's faith. And also what I figured out is anything you believe is faith. If you believe the Big Bang Theory, that's
a faith.
Yeah, that
is definitely a faith.
Right. So if you believe evolution, that is faith. Because you can't go back a million years and say, oh yeah, see, look, this thing's changing. Right?
No, I definitely agree. It's even something as gradual as evolution. If that is what happened, right, then even still, something pushed it to evolve.
Correct. Yep. So then that's where I brought myself to was I have faith. I'm going to have faith no matter what. So what am I going to put my faith in? If you were, say you were going to put you on a plane, you and I are on a plane 10,000 feet up, right? And the pilot says, hey, we're going down. And we both look, and there's a parachute right there, right? I'm putting my parachute on, right? And you're, how you're sitting with the whole faith discussion is, I know there's a parachute there. It looks really good. I have the understanding that most people, when they put a parachute on, they're good, right? Unless somebody messes up the packing of the parachute, right? So here's what I want to do. I'm gonna take your ankles and I'm gonna hang you outside the plane for just a second. Say, hey man, we're going down. We got 10 minutes. What do you want to do with that parachute? Right? Mm-hmm. So that's what you have to do with Jesus. You have to say, you know what? I either put on that parachute and say I have faith in that parachute, or I reject it. I'm gonna jump out and flap my wings and hope that I don't splat.
I'm going to hope for the best.
Yeah, right. So, does all of that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely makes sense. And like I said before, I grew up Baptist Christian, and I think deep down that's what I always resort back to.
Sure.
In times of trouble, in times of need, I find myself praying to God.
Right.
I still leave that room open though to explore what else might be out there.
Right. Okay. So, I had a friend 2 days ago, pass away, right? She had a couple weeks, I guess, before she passed away. Some people don't get that. I work in transportation industry, and last week we had an accident where somebody died. They had seconds, right? So if you're keeping your options open and the parachute's sitting there and you have a second and you're standing in front of God, then what's your response?
Couldn't say.
All right. Well, I'm going to urge you to think about it. It is really an urgent matter. I mean, the older I get, I did a long stint in law enforcement, and I did death investigation, believe it or not. And you see a lot of dead people, so that really makes you think about the afterlife all the time.
No, I understand.
Right? So, what'd you say your name was again?
Jordan.
Jordan. Oh, man, what a great name. I like it. All right. Okay, so, Jordan, will you think about it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And when do you think you're going to get right with God?
Hoping soon. I'm hoping soon.
Hoping soon. Well,
I've done my years of exploring around. I've read the Bible numerous times.
yeah.
And having read about Buddhism, Islamism,
Yeah.
all these different religions, Christianity is still the one that makes the most amount of sense.
It's truth. So your parents are Christian?
Yes, my mom is.
Your mom is, okay. You think she's possibly praying for you?
All the time.
So you think we're possibly having this conversation because of your mom?
She worries about me all the time. I'm the only one of her children that live out of state.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, they're all in Florida, about 600 miles away, so.
Well, that's kind of funny because I came from Florida, and now we're both in Texas, and your mom's praying, and here we are talking. So, Jordan, very nice to meet you. Do you have a Bible at home?
I do.
Are you going to read it?
All the time.
All right. Just think about it, all right, man?
Absolutely.
Very nice talking to you. Thanks for your interview.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have a good one.